Hello, I'm Mike McIntyre. I'm the volunteer tree warden for the parish of Lockington and Hemmington. Being a tree warden can be as much or as little as you want. I've taken the approach that I will represent the parish council as a champion for the trees in the parish, which is a sort of grandiose start. And from there, it's whatever the parish and the community want me to do in supporting the trees, publicity, planting projects perhaps, future developments, commenting on planning applications and so forth. I first thought about being a tree warden when I saw it publicised in the Leicestershire Matters magazine. But before that, I've lived in Lockington for about 4 years now, and when I moved to the area, I became aware that a lot of its character depends on the quality of the trees that it has. It's quite well planted, if you like, with trees. Some of them are in the right place, some are not, and I've always thought that trees don't happen by accident in most cases. Someone's put a lot of thought into planting them there, and it's important to recognise that and try to encourage it for future developments. I've only been a tree warden for less than 6 months now. It sort of started at the beginning of the year when I put myself forward to the parish council and they formally appointed me, so to speak. But one of the first projects that came up was inspired by the trees that are behind me now, which are 5 oak trees which were planted to mark Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, her 60th in 1897. And now we see, sort of 125 years later, we've got quite a nice group of trees planted in quite a specific fashion with one at each corner and one in the middle. So I thought it would be nice to do something similar to that for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this year. So I put some thoughts together on that. I identified a site which is actually controlled by the parish council, got their permission to go ahead with it, and things started rolling from there. So what we've done here is to plant 5 oak trees in the same formation as the 5 that are planted on Ladies Close over the hill. This field is known as Hemmington Park, and it's held in trust by the parish. It was bequeathed to them in a will of 1905, so it's been in the parish for quite a while. It's got quite a lot of deliberate planting of trees in patterns. There are chestnuts, horse chestnuts, some beech and a birch, and some lime trees. So there's quite a variety of trees in here, and I hope that in years to come the oaks will enhance that. When it came to planting the trees, I discussed it with the county council, and I was put in touch with a chap who was able to provide them from the tree nursery at Bow Manor Hall. So I involved the local primary school in Hemmington, and they were very happy to take part in it. So we held an art competition to select 5 of the pupils, who then came along at the beginning of April and formally planted the trees. And we've put up a plaque on the fence to mark that. After the school got involved in the planting, we then completed the project by putting fencing around the trees to protect them. That was paid for by the parish council and put up by the local farmer who manages this field, together with a couple of volunteers on the day. So all in all, it's been a very nice community project, and hopefully in years to come we'll see the trees growing and maturing. At the moment for future activities I'm working on the neighbourhood plan with the parish council. Several parish councils in the area are developing neighbourhood plans, and as part of that I'm on the environment group that's looking at the whole parish in terms of identifying and assessing all the spaces that we have, and as part of that we're looking at the quality of trees that are in those areas. I've only met a few other tree wardens at some of the workshops I've been to that are organised by the county council, and it seems it goes from grandiose projects to very small things, whether it's trying to get a line of trees planted along the side of a road to make it look better, or to protect trees that aren't actually covered by tree protection orders but do have qualities that need to be looked after. And in some places people are trying to replant areas that are naturally dying out, which is a good thing to encourage. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm more interested in preserving what we have in this parish and looking at opportunities to improve it in the future. Well, one of the things I found quite useful when I first became a tree warden was that there's a lot of support available, both from the council and from other organisations such as the Woodland Trust and the Tree Council. And I hadn't been aware of those before I first looked at it and got things sent to me and pushed towards me. And one of the first things I had was an induction training session from the County Council, and that put me in touch with a lot more resources. And I've also attended a couple of workshops that the council has organised, one on winter tree identification and another on ancient woodlands, which was interesting and more in depth than I needed, but giving me much more of an insight into trees and their value. I would encourage anyone else that's got the slightest interest in trees to give it a look and see if there's something that could capture their interest in that direction. The more you look, the more you see. There's absolutely no minimum or maximum commitment required for a volunteer tree warden. It's as much or as little as you want to do. In my case, it's very little at the moment. It sort of came to a peak when I got involved in a tree planting project. Since then it's been relatively quiet, but it's building up again with the involvement around the neighbourhood plan. So it's whatever time you have available, entirely voluntary, so no one can say you're not doing enough or you're doing too much. There are absolutely no minimum qualifications required to be a tree warden. I mean, my ability to recognise species of trees is very limited. I can do Christmas trees, I can do deciduous, and I can do evergreen, but it doesn't go much further than that. I'm getting quite good at recognising ash now and oak, but it's an iterative process. I've bought a few reference books and I'm slowly learning. The problem is that if you try to learn what a tree looks like in summer, by the time you've worked it out, it's winter and it looks completely different. Well, I found out about becoming a tree warden from the Leicestershire Matters magazine. That gave me a contact with the County Council. I think it's pretty easy to find how to become a tree warden if you just search on the County Council website. So there's plenty of information out there if you want to become involved. I'm very much enjoying the role of volunteer tree warden. It's not at all demanding because, as I say, you can do as much or as little as you like. I found it rewarding in the sense that I'm learning more and more about trees, and people do occasionally say, "Oh, thanks for what you're doing and thanks for what you've done." So it's very satisfying.